before the 2023 season, Chris Young did a great thing, and he signed the best pitcher on earth. No, it wasn't Martin Perez. No, it wasn't Andrew Heaney. No, it actually wasn't Jacob deGrom. It's Nathan freaking Eovaldi.
You are Locked On Rangers, your daily Texas Rangers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are locked onto the Texas Rangers, the first and best daily Rangers podcast. I'm Bryce Patrick, a crippling addicted Texas Rangers fan covering this team for 12 seasons, including all 7 as the founder and host of this podcast. Thank y'all so much for making Locked On Rangers your first listen every single day. If you're not already, you can follow me on Twitter at Bryce Patrick. You can follow the show at Locked On Rangers. Hit subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform and on YouTube, where the best way can help grow the show is to comment nearly any single thing below. On today's show, we're talking about Nathan Eovaldi being the best pitcher in baseball, why he needs to be a Cy Young frontrunner, not just a finalist, and the best at-bat I have seen in a long time by the biggest man on this team. Before we get into all that, this episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. Now, Nathan Eovaldi, Big Game Nate, the man, the myth, the legend, with one of the greatest performances I have seen by a starting pitcher. No, it wasn't a perfect game. No, it wasn't a no-hitter. No, it wasn't even a complete game. But this level of just absolute dominance against probably the best lineup in all of baseball. Yes, there's the talk about the Dodgers, but honestly, 2 of their 3 MVPs have not been nearly as good as anyone expected. And there's the Diamondbacks offense, which start this year was incredible. Padres offense, pretty good. Mets offense, pretty good. Phillies offense, pretty good. But the Yankees have scored more runs than anybody in baseball, or at least they had heading into this game. And in this game, Nasty Nate said, oh, this is the best lineup in baseball? That doesn't matter to me. Oh, Aaron Judge, the best hitter in baseball by a pretty considerable margin, is coming back to this team after spending a week and a half on the IL. That's cute. That's nice that you have a little weapon that you think can get something off of me. How about I make him go over 3 with a pair of strikeouts where he just looked absolutely out of sync? Nathan Eovaldi is the best freaking pitcher on the planet. He goes 8 innings, faced just 1 over the minimum, just a little bloop double by Anthony Volpe, just barely over the glove of Corey Seager. It was the only base runner in this one. The Yankees went 0 for 1 with runners in scoring position, and they only faced 1 batter over the minimum because when Phil Maton came in, he got a leadoff single and then a double play, which was beautifully turned by Corey Seager. We'll talk about later. But Eovaldi goes 8 innings, 1 hit, no walks, no runs of any kind, no homers, 6 strikeouts, and lowers his ERA to, if he qualified, a league best, still a league best, 138 on the season. The season! 19 starts into his season. He has 111 innings, and he has a 138 ERA. That is absolutely preposterous. Preposterous, I say. This man is just the best pitcher on earth. Flat out. I don't care if you're talking about Jacob deGrom. I don't care if you're talking about Tarek Skubal. I don't care who you're talking about. Garrett Crochet. Anybody else in the entire face of the earth. No Spencer Strider, no Spencer Schwellenbach, no Spencers, no Jack Jims, whoever's. Nobody but nasty frickin' Nate is the best pitcher on earth right now. And I don't think it's particularly close. Now, if he qualified for the league leaders, which he's not far off of doing, if in his next start, I believe we'll see it sometime next week. If he goes, 7, 8 innings, heck, if he goes 9 innings, then he will definitely be amongst the qualifiers, and he would be pretty far and away the league leader in ERA. The actual ERA title is being held by Paul Skeens right now at 2.02. In the American League, it's Tarek Skubal at 2.18. And well, if Nasty Nate keeps pitching like this, he might be a whole run below those guys, because it is just an unprecedented level of dominance for a Texas Rangers pitcher. And yes, I am even talking about the other guy on his staff in Jacob deGrom, who is exceptional. Don't get me wrong. The last 2 starts from Jacob deGrom haven't been great. And I truly think that in some time in the near future, they're going to need to have an IL stint for Jacob deGrom to just rest his arm so that he can, not have a dead arm period heading down the stretch and into the postseason. But if the postseason we're starting right now, I am throwing Nathan Eovaldi as my game 1 starter. He is just that next level of dominant, and he's doing it in a new way this year with 4 pitches that are all unbelievably good. The curveball was the weakest of his 4 main pitches. He does throw a slider sometimes. He's only thrown it 16 times this year. There's 1% of his pitches, but the splitter, 4-seamer, cutter, curveball, of those 4, the curveball was the least dangerous pitch. It was more of just kind of a break up the rhythm kind of a pitch. He mostly relied on the 4-seamer, the cutter, and the splitter. Mostly the splitter. And he's still primarily splitter this year. I think this is the first time in his career that he has gone. Yeah, this is the first time in his career that he has gone more splitters than fastballs. He got 31% splitters and 27.5% 4-seam fastballs. But the curveball usage is pretty far up this year because it has been just an absolutely devastating pitch. He has found something new with it. The batting average against it this year is .090. The slugging percentage, 134. 134 slugging percentage against this pitch that has been just downright unhittable. The split finger is nasty and has been nasty. Its batting average is below 200 as well. Same with the cutter. The batting average on that is below 200 as well. The 4-seam fastball, the velocity is down a little bit. This year, it's only averaging 94 miles an hour, where usually when he's in his sweet spot, it's around averaging 95. The swing and miss rate on it this year isn't all that good, and it's getting hit a little bit. I mean, the batting average on it is 252, which is the worst amongst all of his pitches. At 252, the worst batting average on any of his 4 pitches, which he throws indiscriminately in any count. You have no idea what he's doing. Sometimes he'll be favoring the curveball more. Sometimes that'll be his primary pitch. Sometimes he'll throw the cutter most. Sometimes it'll be the splitter. Sometimes it'll be the 4-seam fastball. You never know what pitch he's going to throw in what count. It doesn't matter what count. It doesn't matter what hitter. He can throw any pitch anywhere, whenever he wants, exactly where he wants to throw it. Pretty much every time. And the amount of pitchers who can do that with 4, count them, 4 quality pitches. I'd say the splitter, definitely a double plus pitch. Curveball, now a double plus pitch. Cutter, I'd say double plus. Fastball, kind of fringe average at this point, which is crazy because it plays up because it's kind of his finishing pitch. He goes and pitches backwards a lot of times. Usually pitchers will go fastball first, get those strikes, throw it for a strike, get ahead in the count, and then throw some of the nasty off speed or curveballs, breaking stuff, whatever, in the dirt, out of the zone, get guys to chase and expand the zone. But Evo's got such great command of all of those secondary things, which become primary things. He doesn't have secondary stuff. He just has stuff because all of his pitches he throws between 31% of the time and 20.4% of the time. He's thrown an almost equal number. Actually, he's thrown an exactly equal number of curveballs and cutters this year. He's thrown 332 cutters, 332 curveballs, 502 splitters, 449 4-seam fastballs. So he just throws whatever he wants. Hitters are constantly guessing. They cannot sit on any one pitch, and they're all so different, and they all look pretty similar coming out of the hand. And that is what makes him so incredibly good. I mean, he is going 6+ innings in the vast majority of his starts. In 12 of 19 starts, he's gone 6 or more innings. He's gone 7 or more in 5 of his 19 starts, more than a quarter of his starts. He has had a complete game this year. He has pitched into the 8th inning several times this year. He is just a man full of big games. And how do you get Nathan Eovaldi a Cy Young? Well, just make every game all season long a big game. That is what the Rangers have done. They have needed every single one of these starts. And you look at pitcher WAR I mean, pitcher WAR per inning, he is way up there. He is the 10th highest baseball reference WAR for pitchers in the league. Full stop. No innings qualifiers, no nothing. 4.3 baseball reference WAR. The leader in baseball right now, 5.7 WAR in Sanchez of the Phillies, Tarek Skubal at 5.6, who has several more starts and several more innings than Nathan Eovaldi. But per inning, there has been no better pitcher in baseball than Nathan Eovaldi. Heck, just in general, there has been no better pitcher in baseball than Nathan freaking Eovaldi. He walks nobody. He gives up no home runs. He gives up no hits. He strikes out a guy per inning. He is just at the peak of his powers. And you go to any postseason series, if you have a healthy Nathan Eovaldi, forget what the rest of this rotation looks like. Forget what anybody else behind him. Remember why the Rangers won that World Series? Why they trounced through every road game? Because Nathan, big dog, big game Nate Eovaldi was on the freaking hill. Yes, Jordan Montgomery did some good things. Yes, the offense was great. Yes, there were a lot of other things that went right for the Rangers in 2023. But when the game was on the line, in the biggest game of the season to clinch the Rangers' first and so far only World Series title, they had Nathan Eovaldi, the magician, on the mound working out of jams. This guy is so darn good. And the fact that he's not getting Cy Young conversation makes me kind of insane. I looked on FanDuel this morning, and I had been looking all season long, and Nathan Eovaldi jumped up after last night to the third favorite to win the AL Cy Young at plus 3,000. Right now, Tarek Skubal's at minus 750. Garrett Crochet ahead of him at plus 500 in second place. But Eovaldi jumping past Joe Ryan and Hunter Brown and Jacob deGrom and Max Fried and Framber Valdez and Brian Wu and Carlos Rodon. This guy is the best freaking pitcher on earth. And if not for him, the Rangers do not win this game. And it wasn't just big game, big dog Nate Eovaldi. It was Rowdy Tellez with the at-bat of the season, scoring the only runs in this run. But who got out ahead of him? That's right, Jock Peterson, who might just be fixed. We're talking about that and more right after this. This show is brought to you by Gameday Hue, and so is the hat that I'm wearing. For Rangers fans like me, it absolutely hits the mark. Gameday Hue makes clean, no logo gear with team-inspired colorways for every pro and college fan base. It's all about letting your colors speak for you. No giant logos, just smart, versatile style that works on game day, on the course, or anywhere in between. You can wear this hat to any place you're wanting to go, to a Rangers game, to a Rough Riders game, just out on the town playing pickleball, whatever it is. This hat is so comfortable, so breathable. It is so stylish. You can wear it wherever you want. And it's not just hats. Check out their split shade gloves made for the golf course, or the perfect gift for the fan who has everything. Right now, you can get 15% off with code MLB15 at GamedayHue.com. That's GamedayHue.com. The code even stacks on bundle deals. So now's the time to load up. Let your colors talk, because colors speak louder than words. That's GamedayHue.com, code MLB15. Shout out to the everydayers making Locked On Rangers your first listen every single day. On tomorrow's show, we'll be talking about this day game. Hopefully a great start for Jack Leiter. Hopefully a sweep by the Texas Rangers that would put them in that third wild card spot. But either way, I'll be talking about whatever goes on in this game on tomorrow's show. The Rangers winning 2-0, just 2-0. We'll talk about offensive struggles in third segment, because this is all good stuff that's happening. The Rangers just have decided, I guess, in this series that blowouts are not a thing. No blowouts in this series against the Yankees. Only clutch, stressful, up and down, high and low games are going to be played against these New York Yankees. Honestly, if they decide, you know what, that was just a trend for the first two games, and in this afternoon game, they just beat the bejeepers out of the Yankees, I would be totally cool with that. But the Rangers decided that this was going to be a close game, and close counts enough. Wins are the only thing that counts right now. I am trying to bite my tongue on just the amount of runners in scoring position they left stranded. So many runners in scoring position left stranded, and only 1 for 16 with runners in scoring position. But hey, one's all they needed. One is all you need with big game Nate Eovaldi on the mound, who, by the way, won the American League Pitcher of the Month award for July with, I believe, a .53 ERA in that. No, sorry. I inflated it a little, or I detracted from it a little bit. A .59 ERA. 5 starts, 5 wins, a 0.59 ERA in 30 2/3 innings. Just 1 home run given up all month. Just 2 earned runs all month. Because Nathan Eovaldi is the best gosh darn pitcher on planet Earth. But Rowdy Tellez with just one of the most incredible at-bats of the season. Bases loaded, 1 out. All you got to do is just hit the ball into the outfield, hit the ball on the ground through the infield, just squirt it through the grass, hit a sac fly, whatever you need to do, just get that ball to the outfield. And he did it. He absolutely did it on the 10th pitch of the at-bat. Now, this is a clutch situation. Again, I mean, the Rangers started that inning with Devin Williams on the mound. In the bottom of the 8th inning, a guy who is a certified capital C closer, who has been consistent and been really darn good. Just not this year for the Yankees, who somehow, before this series, I know he has an ERA of 5.44 now, but he only had 2 blown saves before this series. He's now got 4 because of this hit he gave up to Rowdy Tellez. He starts the inning with a ground out. Marcus Semien. Okay, all right, that's fine. Good way to go about that. Good way to start out the inning. Then Adolis Garcia gets a double. Okay, great bit of hitting by Adolis Garcia. Then Jock Peterson works a pretty good at bat, sees 4 pitches. One of them is completely in the zone, but Jock Peterson and his dramatics, leaning away from the pitch, gets a call to go his way, pitch 1, even though completely in the strike zone, which this was kind of a choose your own adventure, kind of a strike zone from the umpire tonight. But again, when has it not been? 4 pitches, 4 balls, ball 4. There we go. He works a walk. Wyatt Langford sees 5 pitches. Only one of them is a strike, and he swings at it on 1-0. A good pitch to swing at. Fastball up in the zone. That changeup is no joke. I know that we saw Jock Peterson take him deep on a changeup, airbender, whatever kind of pitch you actually want to call it. Functions as a changeup, functions as one of the best pitches in baseball. But Wyatt Langford works a walk. Bases loaded. 1 out. Rowdy Tellez steps up. Okay. And works a 10-pitch at-bat, goes up in the count and gets it to 2-2, gets a full count on the 9th pitch of the at-bat, a changeup that was well below the zone. And then on the 10th pitch of the at-bat, after stepping away, he'd been dealing with some kind of issue with his pinky finger. It looked like he was feeling some soreness in that after a swing that he had. His pinky's not necessarily on the bat, just a foul ball that he didn't, strike right with the bat, and just led to some reverberations. This was the second time he had done that on the day. He steps back into the box, and on the 10th pitch, a airbender changeup, a ball that was well below the zone, 2-3 inches below the buffer zone. Even that's, I think, about an inch or so, maybe 2 inches outside the zone. And he just scoops it. He shortens up with 2 strikes. He fouls off pitch after pitch after pitch after pitch after pitch. And he gets a pitch that he can handle. And he just scoops it out there in the outfield in a clutch situation. Good base running by Adolis, by Jock Peterson as well to score from second base. Jock Peterson scoring from second base. The man who was very made fun of by the Yankees broadcast for his expanded physique immediately before hitting a game-tying homer off of Devin Williams' changeup the night before. I don't think there were as many jokes cracked at Jock Peterson's expense after he did that, but Jock Peterson reached base 4 times in this one, including a very well-struck double, his 6th of the season, including a well-struck single, working a couple of walks. His OPS is up from where it was. It's still not good at 537, but all you can do is worry about the next at-bat. And Jock Peterson was pretty honest, pretty brutally honest after the game last night, or Tuesday, Monday night, whatever night it was where he hit the home run, Monday night. because I was at Chili's, because that's where good things happen. Like Jock Peterson game tying homers. But he talked about how frustrated he was with this season. He's like, I've been awful. I have been so frustrated. I've been so in my head. And especially when you're on the IL for a month and a half after being pretty much nothing but terrible. I mean, right before he got hit in the hand by that pitch, it kind of looked like he was starting to maybe break out of that funk. And then boom, out for 6 weeks. That is brutal. And the Raiders called him up about as soon as they could, maybe a little bit too soon. But if Jock Peterson has his timing, again, I talked about it on yesterday's episode, that I don't think he's washed. Yeah, he looks a little bigger than he was last year, but the athleticism, he's in his mid 30s. It's fair to speculate if, okay, is this DH only player, just kind of washed? That's fair when you're having one of the worst hitting seasons I think I've ever seen by a player. But the bat speed's still there. He's still hitting the ball hard. He's still walking. He's not striking out at an obscene rate. And he's hitting the ball hard. It's just at the wrong angles. He's hitting it either right into the ground or popping it straight up in the air. And so his timing and his eye is just a little bit off. But if he can get that honed in down the stretch, if he can have some huge at-bats in Jocktober, which he has been known to do many a time, this is looking like a situation where all could be forgiven. He's definitely going to take his option up in 2025 or 2026 for that $18.5 million option. But he's just got to go from here. He can't focus. And I think we also can't focus on what he did before. I mean, it's fine to be like, point out, yeah, he's been awful this year, but there's still that potential in there. He has still been such a consistent hitter. And if he turns it on down the stretch and is one of the hottest hitters in baseball and is back to being that elite right-handed pitching dominator that he has been for basically his entire career, and he has some big moments, he gets the Rangers to the postseason, and then if he has some big moments in the postseason, I think all will be forgiven next year to where he could just start fresh and maybe have the kind of season in 2026 that we are expecting this year. But again, you've got to get there. And the Rangers got there in unconventional fashion last night, trying out a new guy in a save spot who got some help by the Rangers' highest paid position player, who didn't do it with his bat. He did it with his glove. We're going to talk about that and more right after this. This show is brought to you by Monarch Money. Ever wish managing your money felt easier? With Monarch Money, it can be. Whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is more than just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building wealth. With Monarch, I could see all of my finances, track all my spending. I can keep it all in one place as opposed to juggling multiple different apps. You can manage money with a partner without all that stress. You can do all kinds of different things with Monarch Money. So take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. Shout out to the everydayers for making Locked On Rangers your first listen every single day. After every single game, Jeff Biggs is with you with a Locked On Rangers postcast, reacting live to every single game in your Locked On Rangers podcast feeds on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Now, the Rangers did not have a good day offensively yesterday. They did the job. They got 2 runs, but this was an incredibly frustrating offensive game. 1 for 16 with runners at scoring position, with the one being just that little bloop hit by Rowdy Tellez, which was good enough. It was fine. It scored the run. It did the job. But the Rangers just need a little bit more from their offense. And I'm kind of surprised that we didn't see Josh Young in this one. I'm kind of surprised, especially after a walk-off homer. I think part of it is because he's still dealing with that calf injury. I think that's why he was DHing on Monday night as opposed to playing the field. And I think they also plan to give him the start against the left-handed starting pitcher, Carlos Rodon. Today, I have not seen the lineup yet, but I have a hard time imagining that Josh Young, if he is healthy, will not be in that lineup to face a very tough left-handed starting pitcher. But this was a problem that I thought the Rangers had fixed. That maybe this is just a one-off day, but it's not like the Rangers were facing, the best pitcher in baseball. I mean, they're facing Will Warren, who against them had a great day earlier on in the season, but there's a guy with a 4.5 ERA. This is not someone who is one of those best pitchers in baseball. You have a bad day against Tarek Skubal, oh well, shrug it off. He is an incredible pitcher. He makes everybody look that bad. You have a bad day against Max Fried, okay, well, that happens. He is a very good pitcher. Sometimes those things happen, but you get shut down by a guy who just could not get out of his own way and was just having so many issues with Ben Rice, the catcher, of just calling a pitch. I mean, this is the second time that he has done this to the Texas Rangers. I mean, on May 20th against the Rangers in New York, 5 2/3 innings, 10 strikeouts against this same Texas Rangers team. This is not a guy that they see well. Maybe this is just the curse of the Rangers. Will Warren, for whatever reason, they just cannot see particularly well, but it seems like they did. They got 3 walks off of him. They got 3 hits off of him, but they could not get him out of this game earlier despite ramping that pitch count up. That is one thing. If you are going to commend this offense for getting enough runs, which you have to do, is that they worked this pitch count up. But again, then you go to this bullpen, which is honestly, truly, really nasty. And it got even nastier with sending Jake Bird down, a guy who I really wanted the Rangers to trade for, who just had some truly explosive outings in his first, not even a week with the Yankees before they sent him down to AAA, which I guess he still has options so they can do that. But giving up those runs in the first game that he played, which was against the Miami Marlins, and then giving up that 3-run walk-off bomb to Josh Young, the Yankees said, okay, well, that's enough out of Hue. Not an ideal offensive game, but defensively, the Rangers did their freaking job. And Giancarlo Stanton grounding into what looked like a very, very unlikely double play. Corey Seager, the second best double play I've ever seen him turn. This is a ball, a 1-1 count with a runner on first base. Just a curveball, just on the corner, on his knees. Corey Seager gets the ball, flips it to second, and somehow miraculously they are able to not only get the runner at second base, which I didn't think they would get. I thought they were too slow on that. Ryan McMahon, not exactly a burner, but not a slow guy by any means. It was a hard hit ball by Giancarlo Stanton, which you could just say a ball hit by Giancarlo Stanton, because the man, despite being 35 and having no knees, no elbows that are functioning, still has the highest bat speed of anybody in Major League Baseball. I don't understand how he does it. The average exit velocity is almost a hard hit ball for him. He barrels balls up constantly. He hits balls hard constantly. But the thing he does not do, besides play the outfield, which we might see him play the outfield because of Aaron Judge and his flexor strain issue, will not allow him to play the outfield. Maybe we will see Giancarlo Stanton playing the outfield. He does not run fast. And that is me like me saying Usain Bolt does run fast. It's kind of about that level of accuracy in the description. It's accurate, but it doesn't really paint the whole picture. He is the slowest man in baseball. There is some competition between him and Rowdy Tellez, but this year he is, you look at Baseball Savant and they have the little sliders of how good people are at doing things. The bat speed all the way in the red, the running sprint speed all the way in the blue for Giancarlo Stanton. 23.8 feet per second on that sprint speed. Literally the slowest runner in all of baseball. And this is just such a great turn by Corey Seager, who didn't have a good day offensively, but defensively did have a good day. It's a reminder that this guy, who is a nearly 4-WAR player at this point through 82 games in the season, 3.9 baseball reference WAR in 82 games, 16 bombs and 824 OPS. Over the last week, it's not been a great offensive week for Corey Seager ever since he ended that 30-game on base streak. Just an incredible accomplishment for him. He's just kind of cooled off a little bit from being just the hottest hitter on the planet. But the thing that makes Corey Seager the $325 million man, which again is an absolute underpay, is because this man, who is an absolute mountain of a human being, listed at 6'3", 215. I really think he's taller and bigger than that. Despite in addition, to being one of the best hitters, if not the best hitters on planet Earth, he's also a freaking shortstop. Just a mountain of a man playing shortstop, and not just playing it, not just being, a mediocre shortstop out there who just kind of does it because he kind of can and is okay at it. This is an elite defensive shortstop. I think we forget how good Corey Seager is of a defensive shortstop because he doesn't make those flashy plays. He's not like Ellie De La Cruz in that. They're similar because they're both massive behemoths of dudes who play overall a pretty good shortstop, but you're not going to see Corey Seager diving for balls in the outfield. You're not going to see him making, 80 bazillion mile an hour throws from shortstop. He is just going to make the right play every single time in a pretty low key way that goes under the radar of how defensively valuable this guy is as well. I mean, I still truly can't believe that Corey Seager wasn't more heavily pursued to be retained by the Dodgers or to be taken by the Yankees or by really any team. It felt like the Rangers didn't have a whole lot of close bidders to go 10 years, to go $300+ million for a guy like Corey Seager, who is an elite hitter, an elite postseason performer. He already had a World Series MVP. At that point, he's got another one. He might add himself a third if the Rangers get themselves back to October, late October, even November, because that's just the kind of hitter Corey Seager is. But this guy is absolutely fantastic. But I want to talk about Phil Maton for a second at the end of this, because I think he is going to get some look as the Rangers closer at this point. Bruce Bochy was kind of non-committal about who their closer is heading after that Saturday game where Robert Garcia blew his second save in 2 consecutive days. He said, that's still my closer. That's still my guy. I know everybody wants to make a change immediately after a blown save, especially one like that, but he's still my guy. And then on Monday, he was like, maybe he's still our guy. He said he wanted to give him a little bit of a softer landing, a code for just not as high a leverage spot, aka not a save situation, aka maybe he's not the closer, but he said he felt good about 3-4 guys closing out games, whether that's Hobie Milner, whether that's Phil Maton, whether that's Danny Coulomb, whether that's Chris Martin, whenever he comes back. We'll see exactly when that is. But the Rangers have some options. It's also a chance that John Gray eventually slips into that kind of a role. I kind of prefer him as a multi-inning weapon, not a one-inning guy, just because of how John Gray has been pitching. When he's out of the bullpen, it's more of a multi-inning kind of a leverage guy than a just one-inning rear back and let it eat kind of a guy. But I kind of like this. I kind of like this closer by committee. I also kind of like Phil Maton, baseball robot closer who feels absolutely no emotions. Kind of fits in with this team. And also just good to see him before this game or after the Monday night game with the walk-off from Josh Young, just dapping him up and giving him a big hug after their little issue in 2024. Just seeing them repair that relationship just brings joy to my soul. And one last thing I want to mention, not on the big league team, but on the minor league side, Abimelec Ortiz, Rangers first base prospect, who had an up and down season, got promoted to AAA Round Rock. And in his first game, oh my goodness, what a game it was for Abimelec Ortiz. He went 4 for 5 with 2 3-run bombs and 8 RBIs in his AAA debut. What a freaking day. Also, Jake Berger on rehab assignment with the Round Rock Express, playing first base, going 2 for 3 with a double and an RBI and a single in that game. We'll see exactly when we get Jake Berger back. That's kind of up in the air at this point, but hat tip to Abimelec Ortiz for a heck of a AAA debut. Hat tip to Rowdy Tellez, to everybody working at bats to get on base in that one. And most of all, to the best freaking pitcher on the planet, Nathan Eovaldi. That's going to do it for today's show. Thank y'all so much for listening and subscribing. And until next time, don't forget to enjoy baseball.